Welcome to English Omy, out of the podcast that helps you speak English naturally, step by step, every day. I'm Omy, your English learning buddy. Let's begin today's journey.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English Omy. I'm your host, Omy, and today's episode isn't just another English lesson. This is a life-changing conversation about the one skill that separates dreamers from achievers. That skill is self-discipline. We're exploring Brian Tracy's masterpiece, No Excuses, The Power of Self-Discipline. A book that doesn't just teach theory, but gives you practical tools to transform your life completely. This isn't about getting motivated for a few days and then giving up. This is about becoming a completely different person, one disciplined choice at a time. Brian Tracy says something powerful. Success is not given to the lucky. It is earned by the disciplined. Think about this. Successful people aren't always the smartest or most talented. They just have one crucial habit. They do what needs to be done, even when they don't feel like it. If you're tired of making excuses, tired of saying, "I'll start tomorrow," tired of quitting when things get challenging, then this episode is your wake-up call. Self-discipline is the bridge between who you are today and who you want to become tomorrow. And here at English Omy, we don't just learn English. We build the mindset of champions while mastering the language. So get comfortable, grab your notebook, and let's dive into the life-changing power of self-discipline. Your future self will thank you for the next few minutes. Let's start with a truth that might shock you. Success is not an accident. It's the predictable result of doing specific things in a specific way every single day. Most people believe success comes from luck, talent, or being in the right place at the right time. But that's completely wrong. Success comes from habits, consistency, and most importantly, self-discipline. Picture this scenario. Two English learners want to become fluent. Student A studies for just 20 minutes every day with complete focus. Student B cramps for 5 hours once a week under pressure. Who do you think will succeed? The disciplined one, without question. Success is like growing a beautiful tree. You water it daily with small, consistent actions, not once with a huge bucket of effort. Brian Tracy puts it perfectly. If you do what successful people do over and over again, you will become successful. Not maybe, not hopefully, but definitely. Here's the key insight. Discipline is not a feeling. It's a decision. You don't wait to feel motivated to take action. You take action first, and motivation follows. Think about your English learning journey. The students who succeed aren't those who study for hours when they feel inspired. They're the ones who practice consistently, review vocabulary daily, speak even when they're nervous, and show up to class even when they're tired. This principle applies to everything in life. Your career, your health, your relationships, your finances, they all improve through the same formula. Small, disciplined actions repeated consistently over time. The beautiful truth is that once you understand this, success becomes predictable. You're no longer hoping for luck. You're creating your own results. Here comes the chapter that changes everything, but it's also the hardest truth to accept. You are completely responsible for everything you are today and everything you will become. This hits hard because we love to blame external factors. Our parents, our education, our boss, our circumstances, even the weather. But here's what Brian Tracy teaches us. You're not responsible for what happens to you, but you are 100% responsible for what you do next. Let me share a powerful story. A man worked at the same company for 15 years, then suddenly got fired. He had two choices: blame the company and feel sorry for himself, or take responsibility and create a new path. He chose responsibility. Instead of complaining, he used that painful moment as fuel. He started a small online business from his kitchen table. Within 3 years, he was earning twice his previous salary and had the freedom he never had before. What changed? Not his circumstances, his mindset. Brian Tracy says it perfectly. Stop saying, "I'm too tired. It's not fair. I don't have time." Start saying, "It's on me. I'll fix it. Let's go." This applies directly to your English learning. Stop saying English is too difficult, or I don't have time to practice. Start saying, I will find 15 minutes today, or I will speak English even if I make mistakes. When you take complete responsibility, something magical happens. You stop being a victim of circumstances and become the creator of your results. You realize that your past doesn't determine your future. Your daily choices do. That's the foundation of true power and the beginning of real change. Here's a life-changing statistic. Clear goals increase your chances of success by 1,000%. Why? Because your brain is like a GPS system. Without a clear destination, there's no movement, no progress, just wandering in circles. Most people fail not because they're not capable, but because they don't know exactly where they're going. They say things like, I want to be successful, or I want to speak English well. But these aren't goals. They're wishes. Brian Tracy teaches us the discipline of goal setting. Here's how it works. Write down your goals. Be incredibly specific. Create a detailed plan. Work on it every single day without exception. Don't say, I want to improve my English. Instead, say, I want to have a 30-minute conversation in English without using my native language by December 31st. I will practice speaking for 15 minutes every morning. I will join an English conversation group every weekend. I will watch English movies without subtitles twice a week. Now your brain has a clear mission, and discipline becomes your best friend instead of your enemy. Let me tell you about Sarah, an English learner from Vietnam. She wrote down a specific goal. I will pass the IELTS exam with a score of 7.0 in 6 months. She broke it down into daily actions. Study vocabulary for 30 minutes. Practice listening during lunch. Write 1 paragraph every evening. 6 months later, she scored 7.5. Not because she was naturally gifted, but because she had a clear target and the discipline to hit it every day. When you know your why, discipline becomes easier. When your goals are clear, your path becomes obvious. Let's talk about something that separates ordinary people from extraordinary ones. Personal excellence. This means becoming the absolute best version of yourself, not just better than others, but better than who you were yesterday. Here's a powerful truth Brian Tracy shares. Most people aren't actually lazy. They just have no standards for themselves. They accept average. They do just enough to get by. They say, "This is good enough. At least I tried," or "I'm not that bad." But excellence doesn't come from minimum effort. It comes from choosing to go beyond what's required, even when nobody is watching, even when no one will thank you for it. Imagine two English teachers. Both have the same qualifications, same experience. Teacher A shows up on time, follows the textbook, gives homework, and goes home. Teacher B arrives early to prepare, learns students' names and interests, creates engaging activities, stays after class to help struggling students, and constantly improves their teaching methods. Who do you think students remember years later? Who gets recommended? Who builds a successful career? The one who chose excellence. Your success in life depends entirely on your reputation. Your reputation comes from your performance, and your performance comes from your daily discipline. Excellence means waking up early when others sleep in. Excellence means finishing what you start when others quit halfway. Excellence means practicing when you're tired, learning when others are relaxing, saying no to distractions when others give in. Here's what's beautiful about excellence. It becomes a habit. When you do your best once, it becomes easier to do your best again. When you maintain high standards in one area, they naturally spread to other areas of your life. One great day won't transform your life, but a lifetime of excellent habits absolutely will. Now we reach one of the most emotional and transformative chapters: courage. Let me ask you a life-changing question that Brian Tracy poses. What would you do if you were not afraid? Here's what most people don't understand. Courage doesn't mean you're not afraid. Courage means you take action despite being afraid. Fear will always be there. Before speaking in public, before starting something new, before taking risks. But successful people feel the fear and do it anyway. What fears control your life? Fear of making mistakes in English, fear of being judged, fear of failure, fear of success. These fears become invisible chains that keep you trapped in your comfort zone, saying, "Maybe next time," while your dreams slowly die. Let me tell you about Maria, a shy student who dreamed of becoming an English teacher. For 3 years, she was terrified to speak in class. "What if I make mistakes? What if people laugh?" she worried. But one day she decided that her dream was bigger than her fear. She started small, answering one question per class, even if her voice shook. Then she volunteered for presentations. Her English wasn't perfect, but her courage grew with each small act of bravery. Today, She's teaching English to over 200 students and inspiring them with her story. Courage is like a muscle. It grows stronger every time you use it. Each time you speak when it's uncomfortable, try when you might fail, or ask questions when you feel stupid, you're building courage. Remember, discipline gives you the strength to move forward even when your legs are shaking. That's where real power comes from. Not from the absence of fear, but from action despite fear. Here comes the most important skill that separates winners from quitters. Persistence, the art of never giving up. Most people start with incredible motivation. They're excited, energetic, ready to conquer the world. But when the initial excitement fades and the real work begins, they disappear. The gym becomes empty after 2 weeks. The English course is abandoned after the first difficult lesson. The business dreams die after the first rejection. Brian Tracy shares this powerful truth. The longer you stay with your goal, the higher your chances of success become. Think of success like digging for gold. Some people dig for 1 day and quit, others for 1 week. But gold is found only by those who keep digging, even when the dirt seems endless. What is persistence? It's the ability to keep going when you're not seeing immediate results, when nobody believes in you anymore, when you feel tired and unmotivated, when you've failed multiple times before. Consider Tom, learning English for his dream job. After 6 months of study, he still couldn't hold a fluent conversation. He felt like giving up. What's the point? He thought. But he remembered, it's not about who starts fastest, it's about who refuses to stop. He kept practicing, failing, repeating, month after month. Then one day, something clicked. He gave a presentation at work in perfect English. His colleagues applauded, his eyes filled with tears. Not because it was perfect, but because he didn't quit. Persistence isn't about always being strong. It's about refusing to stop, especially when stopping seems like the easier option. The reward for persistence isn't just achieving your goal. It's becoming someone who never gives up. My dear English Omy family, we've just explored the most powerful principles from Brian Tracy's life-changing book. You've learned that discipline is the foundation of everything: success, courage, health, relationships, and yes, even mastering English. But here's the truth. This podcast means nothing unless you take action. Reading about discipline, listening about discipline, even understanding discipline, none of that matters without doing. You are not weak. You are not broken. You are powerful beyond your imagination, and every single day is a fresh opportunity to prove it to yourself. Here's your challenge. For the next 7 days, choose one small, disciplined action related to your English learning. Maybe it's studying vocabulary for 10 minutes every morning. Maybe it's speaking English for 5 minutes to yourself in the mirror. Maybe it's writing 1 paragraph in English every evening. Start small, but start today. Don't wait for Monday. Don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait until you feel motivated. Remember Brian Tracy's words. Discipline is the bridge between who you are and who you want to become. If this episode inspired you, please share it with someone who needs to hear this message. Subscribe to English Omy for more life-changing content that combines English learning with personal growth. This is your moment. This is your time. Your future self is counting on the decisions you make today. Until next time, keep learning, keep growing, and most importantly, keep disciplining yourself toward the life you deserve. This is Omy, and I believe in you. Now go make it happen.
Thanks for spending time with me on English Omy today. Remember, small steps every day lead to big progress. If you like this episode, follow the podcast and share it with a friend.